Right, thank you for coming and supporting local live comedy. We're gonna jump right in. You guys all right? You've got something you'd like to share with the rest of the room? No, good, okay. Yeah, let me jump right in. I have to warn you, the water is not very clean. I have a disease called multiple sclerosis. It's fine, don't be alarmed, it's not contagious. And so, of course, a lot of my act is about this because, well, to be honest, I'm just trying to corner the market on the pity laugh. Yeah, like this, with more enthusiasm, I tell you, but yeah, you get the right idea. And so this is going to be a lot like a very shit TED talk, or a TERD talk, so to speak. So, multiple sclerosis is an autoimmune disease. Autoimmune diseases is when essentially you're allergic to yourself. So if you're allergic to your joints, it's rheumatoid arthritis, to your skin, it's psoriasis, to your bowel, it's Crohn's disease, to the insulin-producing cells in the pancreas, it's type 1 diabetes. Not to be confused with type 2 diabetes, which is twice as much diabetes for your buck. And it's not autoimmune, it just means you're allergic to vegetables and exercise. It's not fat shaming, it's diet and lifestyle shaming. So here you go. But in my case, I am allergic to my own brain. Now, I know that this is a room full of stand-up comics, so the bar for self-loathing is pretty high, but being allergic to your own brain, you've got to admit that has to take the prize, right? So, in MS, the immune system attacks the central nervous system, the brain and the spine, with dire consequences. A good way to put it is that you have the part of the body that hates everything that's foreign, that turns onto and attacks and takes over the part that's in charge. So with MS, it's as if my body is going on to its own little version of Brexit, if you will. And I find that this analogy actually helps because, well, I mean, that's one of the upsides of Brexit in that suddenly people can understand what the sort of inner conflict means. So, practically this manifests with lesions, plaques, areas of scar tissue in the white matter of the brain. The white matter of the central nervous system, if you don't know, it's the matter that can't handle spicy food and claps on 1 and 3. No, the white matter is the myelin. So you get your grey matter, which is the nerves, the actual neurons themselves, and the white matter is the myelin, which is a sort of insulation sheath around the nerve that protects it and helps it. And that's the bit that gets stripped off and, to use a medical term, gets all fucked up. And so this leads to areas of reduced nerve conductivity or nerve damage altogether. And that in turn, you're with me, right? I told you TED talk. That in turn leads to symptoms of disruption in whatever physiological, physical, mental, or emotional functions are controlled by the nerves in question. Or to put it more succinctly, spazzing out. No, it's okay, I can say that because I am medically spastic. I suffer from spasticity, that's muscle spasms and stiffness. Although I have once overplayed this particular hand, because I did get a free pass with the word spaz, but yes, I once referred to the international accessibility symbol, the sort of handicap logo with the wheelchair, as the spasticker. And you know how sometimes you don't know where the line is, but you definitely know when you've crossed it. And I had to leave this particular bar mitzvah. Anyway, yeah, spazzing out. What else can I tell you about MS? There's 1 in 500 people in the country that has MS, which sounds like a lot, but it's actually fuck all. So if you because it's like 130,000 people across the country, which is like the same as the number of registered members of the Liberal Democrats. and like, because Lib Dems are like doggers, right? Like, you know they exist and they're around, but you've never actually met one. and I'm so glad, because there was a brief period between the European elections and the general election where the Lib Dems briefly, for a couple of months, were not a joke. And that meant that during that time I couldn't do the 130 people thing, and I was like, oh man, it's such a bummer, they're doing so well, which is good, of course, for them and Europe and the country, perhaps, but not for me. Anyway, what can I tell you, what else about Brexit? No, but just to put it in perspective, diabetes, not sure which of the types to be fair, but diabetes is like 1 in 17 people. Cancer, it's going to be 1 in 30 people. Even schizophrenia, which you'd think is a pretty rare disease, is 1 in 300. So MS, I think of it as the hipster disease, right? It's pretty rare. You've probably never heard of it. Oh no, and one last thing, because one last thing. One is that because of all the stuff that explained that makes MS extremely variable and unpredictable and different from one individual to the next, but even in the same individual from basically one day to the next. And because of that, thanks to the Disability Act 2010, you are legally recognized as disabled from the day of diagnosis because of the unpredictability of the disease and its variability. And that means that if I go over and Maz has to kick me off stage, because she's flashing me now, #MeToo. If you kick me on stage, that is technically a hate crime. So, I mean, okay, stand-up comedy, first up, bit ableist, not gonna lie, then there's nowhere to sit here. Maybe that's because that's why stand-up comedy. So I think that, you'd be well advised to check your white matter privilege. All right, okay, no, I'm going to finish on something that is not MS related, because my act is like a lasagna, right? It's like fact, joke, cheese sauce. So here we go for the cheese sauce. I have been in London for way too long. Like a lot of Londoners, I have this sort of love-hate relationship with it. I obviously loathe it, I hate it, it's expensive, it's cramped, it's stressful, it's polluted, it's dirty, but I cannot imagine living anywhere else. So it's very much like being in an abusive relationship. I've been in London 14 years, which is a long time. I mean, if my residency in London was a human being, she would be starting to garner some very inappropriate attention from some minor royals. He wouldn't be sweating over her, but we've learned. And I've learned, so 14 years in London, but I've only learned recently that if you live in London, at any given moment, you are never more than 6 feet away from one of Boris Johnson's children. All right, let's welcome the host back on stage. Mas, come here! Woo!